Hello, everyone. Thank you, Steve, Elaine, and everybody that is part of putting this on today. And it's a pleasure to be here today. And what I'm going to do here is piggyback on Chairman Hart's comments he made earlier on his presentation. And I like about 8 minutes, so I got to stay on task and on time. So each one of these would probably take 8 minutes, but I'm going to go with the 8 slides that I do have. What this represents here is, if you can look on the top, it's November 17th of 2022. This is a 60% water allocation that we are looking at. Now, we can go back 20 years, 2002, when we felt a drought in the Four Corners at the Farm and Ranch. And 2020, 10%, as the chairman said, and 22, we started off the year with 10%. And come August of last year, we had 40% of our water. So as we go forward, the reason this says 60% is this is what we were hoping for coming into the 2023 season. As of today, we're looking at 100%. What we do on our farming operation is we put 4 or 5 scenarios together of 40, 60, 80, and 100% water usage for what we can, or not knowing what water we're going to have. What we've learned is if there's carryover in McPhee Reservoir, makes it easier to plan a farming season. But if we're just kind of looking at snow runoff, it's unknown. And as you can tell now, the weather pattern has changed in our favor. So as I'm speaking on this map, you can see some of the colors. We were able to plant about 2,200 acres of red winter wheat because of the water allocation we got late last year, in the hopes that it wouldn't just become a cover crop. So what we're doing moving forward is we do have a little over 2,000 acres of red winter wheat that we're going to be able to water and turn it into a cash crop, and we put that in last fall. You can see a blue cornfield in the middle of the map. That's a blue corn for Bow and Arrow brand, white down on 6,000. The darker greens are established. The light green is what we were able to plant last fall. This map has moved from 60 to 100, like I said. So we will be putting in 1,000 acres of oats, another 600 acres of alfalfa, and we're able to go ahead and grow a little over 1,000 acres of corn due to the fact we're going to have more water. So as I'm talking right now, they're working ground, they're mowing, they're fertilizing, and disking, because we've got a 90-day window to do what we can with what water we've been given. If you look on 1,000 block, there's a square turquoise. Those 3 are into production for micro hydro. And what we can do there is utilize some of the high pressure flows that we have, working with the CDA, and we've projected 2 more this year on 1,000 block, and then we'll see on 3,000 block for 5 potential more micro hydro units that we could utilize with our high pressures. If you look around the perimeter of the 109 center pivots, the one center pivot's down as on block 7,000, which is down in Toyoak by the casino. There's 43 miles of 8-foot elk fence. And what we found is we could not keep the elk out of the stack yards. We have 17 stack yards, and on some years we have well over 30,000 3/4-ton bales. So the elk like to eat. So we were able to build an elk fence around the perimeter to keep them out of the stack yards and out of the cornfields. Because once they get into the cornfields, they're there for good. You're not getting them out till harvest time because they have plenty of feed and plenty of water to utilize there. So this is the 60% plan. So in the next couple of weeks, this will change to an 80% with what we can put in this window in the spring. And then after the oats are planted, then we'll have an option to go back into either wheat or more alfalfa. This canal here is, people are familiar with it, 39.9 miles of open clay-lined and siphoned canal. What makes it unique, it's gravity flow from the McPhee Reservoir. And we have very little spillage, believe it or not, on this close to 40 miles of canal. The communication, which we all know is very important, it's vital where we're at in our location of the farm. Between the Dolores Water Conservancy District and the Irrigation Department, they're in constant contact with what water we're bringing down. We've been known to run up to 115 CFS. And when you're running that much water and with little or no spillage, sometimes with an electrical outage, we see some areas of the canal being filled. But I can say right now that communication is really important. If it's between entities or with state, federal, or local, I can use this to say that between the district and the Ute Mountain Farm and Ranches is critical, and it works very well. This is part of our alfalfa operation. Like I said, it's a major part. 90% of our hay goes to the dairy industry, and it's pre-bloom. We run over 180 RFV and try to stay there for the customers that will take as little as we had in 2021 or as much as we can have in the future. They've been real good to work with, and they like the cool nights and warm days of the alfalfa we can establish. Now, I don't know if you can see, there's an operator in here, and that's Henrietta Jones Wing. She's one of our better operators, and a female and a tribal member. So she's running a swather. She's right now out there today working a lot of the fields that we have to get ready. And that's just one of the fields that she was cutting last year. The cattle operation, we run about a 650 cow-calf operation. Matter of fact, today they're branding 250 to 300 today. And it's a well-run operation with a good cattle manager, black baldy herd, and they were well sought after cattle that we were able to maintain there on the farm. They summer in the farm. They summer in the high country and then winter at the farm. So that's where they're at right now. They're on the project as we speak. This is one of the cornfields. It's what we've gone to is all non-GMO, and we grow yellow, white, and blue corn, and 80% is used for the Bow and Arrow Brand LLC corn mill facility. It's just one of the fields that we're looking at here. I think this picture here shows our storage facility that we have on the project. It's about 475,000 bushel that we're able to hold the corn over. One good thing about a food source or food security is we're able to plant it, water it, harvest it, and store it. And the majority of the corn now, which is good, is put aside for the Bow and Arrow Brand corn mill facility. So, and you can see the compost truck. We try to put back in chicken compost, which is about 1.5 tons to a new field and about 1 ton to established fields. Just moving on here, this is part of the warehouse for Bow and Arrow, and for our human consumption. I didn't realize all of the certifications that are needed to have a facility for human consumption food, from the SQF level 2 certification through food chain ID to kosher certification to whole grain to gluten-free to non-GMO certifications that they carry. Right now there's about 2 semi-loads in the warehouse right here. We can hold 3 semi-loads, and this right here I think is going to a pasta manufacturer as an ingredient for pasta. We're probably in about 8 states that I can think of, and the mill can run about 16 different granulations for whatever the customer's needs are at this time, from anywhere from whole corn to milled corn to a polenta base. This kind of shows you a little shot of the mill itself, which we started in 2014 and it went into full operation about 2017. So we're able to find a unique customer base, more of a boutique. On the upper level you can see where it starts running through the sifters on the 3rd level. The 2nd level, as you see off to the left, are the rollers. There's 3 sets, and then it goes into the sifter, the shaker there that separates the meal to the different granulations that you might need. And on the bottom level, you can see a few employees in the middle of the picture. That is our all fill, and that does the 50-pound, 25-pound bags, either sewed or heat sealed. So that's the one that's being used a lot recently for different customers that want product all the way from Maryland to California to Henderson, Nevada, or into Pine Bluff, Arkansas. To the far right, you can barely see the 24-ounce packer that we utilize, and that's the one that can do anywhere from a pound into a cornmeal bag up to a 15-pound bag on that part of it. And that's about it. I want to thank everybody for listening, and I made it as quick as I could, but it's nice to be here today, and thank you all.